It is time for another semifinal matchup between the North Scott Lancers and the Center Point-Urbana Storm & Pointers from Wells Fargo Arena. It is Class 4A tournament basketball. A date in the finals, a Saturday night date on the line here from Wells Fargo Arena in the 2020 Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union State Basketball Championships. Hello everybody, Paul Yeager alongside Drake Bulldog, Laura Leonard, and Coach, I just call you Coach, is that okay?
That's fine.
We'll
I coached a little. Some people say I didn't, but I did.
We have
very little.
this semifinal day is always fun. The matchups are good. It doesn't matter the class. We had a good one earlier this morning. Good one just finished up on the court. This is the game, though, Laura. This is the only one of the tournament where two champions from 2019 are doing battle against each other. Yeah,
we have Center Point-Urbana, who was the champions in 3A last year, so moving up a class into 4A. So they are defending North Scott, defending their 4A title. And so it's going to be, I think, a really good matchup. I think some people think that this could be the championship game.
North Scott head coach TJ Case, they're 24-0. The Storm & Pointers and Philip Klett, they're 22-2. This is a squad, both of them, that know how to win on the final game of the year. It's just now they have to play in that semifinal game, Laura, and it features a couple of great players as usual, and still players headed to that next level. Let's start with Center Point-Urbana. Adriana Ketcher going to go to Southern Illinois, and a fellow Valley foe, Grace Buffelli for North Scott.
Yeah, and those two players are really dominant on the inside, and they're going to match up well. So that's going to be a fun matchup, and we're going to see them. Can they get it done in the paint, but can they stretch the defense as well? And so it's going to be interesting to see how these two teams decide. Are they going to try to take those two players away and let others try to determine the game, or are they going to do the opposite, shut everybody else down and let those two players have their points?
Buffelli is the leading scorer in all classes still playing in basketball in Iowa this time of year. 29 points a contest, and she is so smooth, and it starts real easy with who gets her the ball in Presley Case.
And Presley Case does such a great job of seeing the floor, knowing when and how to get her teammate the ball. And that's what you want out of a point guard, is somebody that understands the entire game and the situation.
The Lancers knocked out Clear Creek Amana, who beat Marion to get to the state tournament. Buffelli had 28 points, so an off night, but 9 rebounds. And they shot 52% in that win over Clear Creek Amana. Now Center Point-Urbana, they also know the road to state. 22-2, knocked out Waverly Shell Rock in the quarters. Adriana Ketcher, 12 points, 10 boards, 6 assists. They shot 89% free throws.
And they got to the line a lot, and that was part of their game plan. Put it on the floor, see if they can get inside, draw a little contact, and look at that line for Ketcher, knocking on the door of a triple-double. Very close.
All right, we'll have your keys to the game in a moment when we come back. This is the State Girls Basketball Tournament.
MidAmerican Energy and you, together partnering to change the energy landscape by pioneering money-saving, energy efficiency programs and building a new industry in Iowa, wind energy, all while keeping your rates low. So what's next? We'll keep delivering cost-effective energy efficiency programs while putting money back in your pocket. That's right, you decide how best to spend your savings. That's a partnership good for you, good for the environment, and good for Iowa. Another way we're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
They say Buena Vista University is in the middle of a bunch of fields.
Hey guys, wait up!
Game on.
They say our idea of fun is morning tea, and afternoon tea,
and anytime tea.
And we hang out like bumps on a log.
They say Storm Lake, Iowa isn't in the center of the action. And when we study, we're not exactly grounded.
But you know what we say.
You gotta see it to believe it.
It's game day. Brisket smoking. The stakes are huge. Full rack, baby back. Fired up, quarter pound. Fast pass, dribble down. Slam dunk. Buzzers beat.
Victory goes to Fairway, the champion of me.
Des Moines. The S's are silent. Our city is buzzing. Catch what you've been missing today.
Center Point-Urbana and North Scott doing battle here in Class 4A, the semifinal. And here are your keys for success, brought to you by Kruger Seeds.
Well, for North Scott, they want to establish the paint. They want to get the ball to Grace Buffelli, let her work inside, let her go block to block, see what kind of defense Center Point-Urbana is going to have for her, and they want to turn up the heat. They're going to get after you defensively. We talked in the quarterfinals, single-digit quarters. They had 2 of them in that ball game. That's what they're looking for. They're going to get out and defend. And then for Center Point-Urbana, work for the high percentage shots. They're going to be patient. Don't force anything. Work the ball around and take the best shot that you can get. And they want to dictate the pace. Run when you have to and when you can. And if you don't have it, then pull it back out and get set up.
Today's Seeds for Success were brought to you by Kruger Seeds. The next time you're in need of corn or soybean seed, give your local Kruger Seed dealer a call. Kruger Seeds, first-class seed, first-name service. Learn more at KrugerSeed.com. The starting lineups, the tip-off, and by the way, basketball when we come back.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise, and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
In Iowa, we all play by the same rules. Hard work pays off, practice makes perfect, success is something you earn, and teamwork helps us all be winners. The Iowa Pork Producers Association is proud to support statewide high school athletics. Because on our team and on yours, what we bring to the table is what brings us all together. Learn more about our commitment to Iowa at iowapork.org.
Crowded lecture halls? Not anymore. Southwestern Community College is a different place. It's where we break from traditional college to do what's best for your career. It's about teaching the way you learn, having fun along the way, and giving you the experience you need for what comes next. A job and an income in as little as 1 year. That's why you go to college in the first place. Southwestern Community College. Your career starts here. Check out SWIC's career-related programs at swiciowa.edu/yourcareer.
I'm a 4th-generation Iowa farmer. Farming's not a job, it's an opportunity to help feed and fuel the world. Access to reliable credit is key in any successful business, and farming with its ups and downs, we rely on our local bank to keep our operation successful. Our farming operation wouldn't be as successful as it is without the financial support of our local Iowa bank. I appreciate my Iowa bank.
More Iowans choose to bank with an Iowa bank. Get to know a real Iowa banker and discover the genuine difference of Iowa banks.
The Iowa Bankers Association is proud to help students reach their goals, both financially and educationally. That's why they are honored to provide 5 student athletes from this year's basketball tournament with $1,000 scholarships. Follow their Facebook page, facebook.com/Iowa Bankers, to see the winners. Center Point-Urbana has retreated to the basket on now the left side of your screen, right of what you'll see during the game, and North Scott over in the eastern part of the state. They go to the left side of us, and now it's time for your introductions as we'll meet all the players in uniform and coaches. Tim Fitzpatrick on public address for this Class 4A semifinal basketball game at Wells Fargo Arena.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wells Fargo Arena in Des Moines, Iowa for the 2020 Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau. Tonight's semifinal matchup will feature the Center Point-Urbana Stormin' Pointers and the North Scott Lancers. Fans, it's now time to introduce the players in tonight's semifinal matchup. First, the non-starters for the Center Point-Urbana Stormin' Pointers. Number 2, Taylor Reeves. Number 3, Nicole Lutz. Number 5, Lane Hadsel. Number 10, Sierra Davis. Number 11, Olivia Sweeney. Number 13, Ryan Hansen. Number 22, Cora Catcher. Number 23, Emma DeSmet. Number 32, Claire Neighbor. And number 34, Eliza Mullenhauer. The assistant coaches for Center Point-Urbana are Dan Hillers, Derek Shantz, and Andy Woldridge. Now let's meet the non-starters for the North Scott Lancers. Number 4, Reagan Shaning. Number 10, Rachel Anderson. Number 14, Cortasia Seals. Number 20, Avery Woods. Number 22, Sydney Happel. Number 24, Hattie Hagedorn. Number 30, Taryn Keel. Number 34, Maddie Bender. Number 44, Alyssa Bachenfeld. And number 52, Lauren Gollinghorst. The assistant coaches for North Scott are Devin Ralston, Colin Woods, and Todd Satterley. And now, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for tonight's starting lineups? For Center Point-Urbana, 5'11" senior, number 4, Adriana Catcher. And for North Scott, a 5'4" senior, number 2, Presley Case. For Center Point-Urbana, 5'6" senior, number 15, Bryn Hadsel. And for North Scott, a 5'6" senior, number 12, Brooke Gilberg. For Center Point-Urbana, a 5'4" senior, number 20, Peyton Kriegel. And for North Scott, a 5'9" junior, number 32, Samantha Scott. For Center Point-Urbana, a 5'11" sophomore, number 25, Riley Goebel. And for North Scott, a 5'11" senior, number 40, Adrian Latham. For Center Point-Urbana, a 5'7" senior, number 30, Lauren Defoe. And for North Scott, a 6'1" senior, number 42, Grace Bofelli. The head coach for Center Point-Urbana is Philip Klett, and the head coach for North Scott is T.J. Case. The floor officials tonight are Mike Lawler, Mark Worth, Matt Scholl, and the bench official is Dan Beating. Welcome Center Point-Urbana and North Scott to the 2020 Iowa Girls State Tournament.
Starting lineups are brought to you by Buena Vista University, located in Storm Lake, Iowa. Buena Vista University prepares students for lifelong success through transformational academic, professional, and co-curricular programs. Schedule your visit today at bvu.edu. Case, Gilbert, Scott, Latham, and Bofelli, Catcher, Hadsel, Kriegel, Goebel, and Dufault. You're watching basketball here on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy, as we are ready for tip-off North Scott in the home white. Small red numbers, Lancers on the front. CPU, Center Point-Urbana, all black in the yellow numbers. White trim. Buffelli and Goebel tip it off, and catcher has it for Center Point-Urbana. Tipped away, Defoe. 3, right side, no. Rebound, no. Off of North Scott, Samantha Scott.
Immediately going for a big shot, trying to get the momentum with that first possession, come up a little bit short with that three-pointer.
Kriegel here in our left side there, number 20, Bryn Hatzel to inbound. And they go up to Kriegel.
North Scott staying in that zone, and they move very well with that zone.
Riley Goebel, last year as a reserve, she commits to travel, as a reserve made the all-tournament team as a freshman. And it was hard to crack that lineup last year for Center Point-Urbana.
Well, she had a really nice game in the quarterfinals. Didn't show it in the scoring column, but just like that, on the point of that defense, those long arms caused a lot of problems defensively, and she created several steals. I think she had 5 steals on the game and created a lot of other for teammates to get into the passing lane.
That's why when we look at player of the game sometime, Laura, it's not always points. You're right, it's other things. And boy, how many times will coaches tell you, yeah, that's what we need, just little things here. Just, we need somebody to do that.
Well, that's a big part of any team, that you have 1 or 2 players that always just do the little things. Get to the offensive glass, go to the floor for the loose ball, cause problems on defense. Things that kind of go unnoticed to the fan in the stands because they're always following the ball. They're looking at who's going to score the basketball. Don't look for those little things from players, and those are the things that coaches love to have.
Center Point, Urbana. Moving it around that outside. Nice drive, cutting the distance and getting a chance for the and one. Is Bryn Hatzel. Our first points of the game.
Nice rotation on the offense, and they were very patient, worked it around, and really the nice thing that Hatzel did as she was driving the baseline, she saw Buffelli come over and she adjusted, came up short, knocked that floater down.
Buffelli the foul, and then a steal. And a whistle, and if that's another foul on Buffelli.
It's on Presley Case.
Okay, it's going to be on Case. I was just looking at the clock at the 6:30 mark. I was thinking 90 seconds. We already had, I think, 4 fouls for Kendall Need in that first game we did. And here we hadn't even had a point in our first 90 seconds.
Yeah, that is something that, boy, you're right. If that would have been on Buffelli, that would have been a whole different game that we would be talking about.
Kriegel with the basketball. Reverse it to Hatzel.
Well, one of our keys, work for a high percentage shot. That's what they're doing right now, is working it inside out, driving, trying to find something that's going to give them the best percentage and the best look at the hoop.
Oh, what a pass. Catcher to Defoe. Rebound, Buffelli.
Boy, it was a great feed. Drive the baseline. Everybody turns to pay attention to catcher on the baseline, and she dumps it right in the middle to Defoe, and just a little too strong with that shot.
North Scott, I think, has only taken 1 shot of the game, and we're going to have a travel on the Lancers. Samantha Scott shuffled the feet before she got rid of it. Turnover.
You know, some nerves here, I think, for both of these teams. You had mentioned it. They're both defending state champs, but maybe a little bit more nerves for North Scott because they are the defending 4A champ. Center Point-Urbana, 3A, they don't have to worry about defending their title in that 3A level. So, hey, relax a little bit. See if you can get a 3A and a 4A trophy in your trophy case at school.
And you're also not number 1 in the state right now coming into the tournament. Catcher cuts the distance, waits for the cut, and it curls around to score.
Twice they've been able to do that. Baseline, and then everybody slides to the baseline. That leaves Defoe open. Look at that trap right there on the corner.
Timeout, North Scott. Before the trap. All right, let's talk about this 2-3 zone break approach. There's the outside pass, but I believe there is a theory of the way to beat the 2-3 is to go every other, right? Go over someone. That is one of the philosophies of breaking the 2-3.
You can skip the pass over the top of the 2-3 zone. A lot of times you can get those shots at the corners, at the elbow. There's a weakness where you can shoot what, when I played, we called it an inside cutter, in between the gap of the 2-3. Shoot it right into the middle. That's kind of a variation of what we saw right there with the drive on the baseline, shooting the inside cutter in Defoe right into the middle of the gap of the zone.
Lancers will inbound right in front of the center point Urbana bench. Case gets it into that corner again. If you're North Scott, you have to be concerned about the length of center point Urbana, and it's showing right now. Driving and not getting a great look at the basket were the Lancers and Kilburg. Or actually, that was Latham.
And they're really pressuring out front. So that does not allow North Scott to get set in that half-court offense.
Ketcher and Dufault. And that one was too tall for Goebel.
You know, I think Goebel was going in to screen the backside, thinking that Ketcher might be coming down over onto that baseline side, looking for the jumper.
Now we see the pressure extended backdoor. Buffelli, they deny the pass. And that was Lauren Defoe. We have a substitution now as Taylor Reeves makes her way in. Substitutions in today's game are brought to you by IMT Insurance. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at imtins.com. 3:59 to play first quarter. The Lancers get it in. Buffelli has hardly touched the basketball down low.
And Buffelli's out there directing traffic. There's a skip pass.
And that one's off the mark. Now this is a little different than what the Lancers had the other night. We have a turnover on the newly entered Reeves. In the game against Clear Creek Amana, Laura, if you remember, North Scott hit a couple of those early buckets by Presley Case. So far they've gone 0 for 2 from 3 on those outside shots. Just sets a little different tone for the game.
Yeah, if you knock down those first shots.
Oh, the give and go. Goebel, the center point Urbana fans, thought it was a clean block. The officials saw something differently. We'll shoot free throws with Samantha Scott.
When you have defense that's pressuring you all over the floor like center point Urbana is, look backdoor. They got the backdoor look that time. And then the rotation defensively, didn't see any body. She must have gotten her across the arm.
Second free throw, and the cover is now lifted off the basket for North Scott.
I'm going to apply a little pressure of their own. It looks like a 1-2-1-1.
3:30 to go and only 1 point. Buffelli is called for the foul. And Goebel will go to the line for a pair.
Center point Urbana did a really good job against that pressure. Everybody on offense moved just as a unit down the floor, and Goebel slipped into the gap, and they got her the ball. Boy, once she got it, she turned over that shoulder and went right at Buffelli.
Well, the scoreboard says only 1 foul for her, so Presley Case has 1, as does Samantha Scott, as Goebel hits both free throws. 6-point advantage, center point Urbana. Latham right in front of us. They get to Buffelli, who lays it in for the first field goal for the Lancers.
Just out of the reach of Ketcher, and that's why they have Buffelli on the back line allowing her to roam around. She's got great length. She's got those good hands. If they can throw it over the last defender, they're going to get easy buckets.
In transition, too strong goes Neighbor. Case up ahead, Latham. Turn around, Buffelli, catch and release. Little off balance, Goebel runs it, catcher. Back to Goebel. Loose ball, and North Scott's got to remember they had it. There were 3 Lancers there, and then coming in to tie it up was Claire Neighbor. Forced the alternating possession arrow, but it'll go back to North Scott. Another IMTINS.com substitution, worry-free with IMT Insurance.
How about some risky cross-court bounce passes?
Oh, yeah.
Those had to be pinpoint to make it to who they wanted it to go to. The first one was okay. Second one was trying to get it through a little bit too much traffic.
Latham across to Reagan Shaning. Case, the floater, too strong. Buffelli tied up. Latham rips it away. So now, Laura, we talked about it in earlier games, and it's always said it's sometimes Case from way out that's short. Travel. Yep, double dribble or travel, or, it was one of those two. I think everybody was thinking it's that third, fourth, fifth player that's got to make a difference. Maybe it's going to be Latham if Buffelli and Case are going to struggle to get going for North Scott.
Latham has done a nice job so far here in this first quarter. Very active on both ends of the floor.
Storm and Pointers. Inside. Drop step going around over Buffelli, off the mark. That time, DeSmet met what Grace Buffelli, and then it's tipped on the defense. A cunning DeSmet. Kick to catcher, 3. No! Rebound, North Scott.
Dodged a bullet.
Boy, that would have been huge. Latham in ahead. Catch, release, score. Grace Buffelli for 4 now.
That's threading the eye of the needle right there. Again, that was a great catch by Buffelli.
Lead down to 2 for the Storm and Pointers. 3, catch, release, no. Off the mark by Reeves. Buffelli the board. Case will drive, the runner, got it!
That's the case of Case seeing what was behind defensively, and that was nobody. Everybody was up defensively, picking up a player, and she knew she had the speed to be able to blow by and get to the rim.
45 seconds to go, first quarter. Tied at 7, first tie of the game. And it's been defense for both of these teams showing at different points, and that's going to be off of center Point-Urbana on the cut. Claire Neighbor had to go off her right thigh and out of bounds.
Every time catcher gets the ball, 2 players on her right away. They want to try to get in her face, make her give the ball up.
The winner of this game will play in Saturday's final on Iowa PBS beginning at 3 o'clock for the tip-off. Pre-game at 2:30. Statewide, Iowa PBS. Case to the corner. 3 from newly entered into the game, Sydney Happel. As the fans behind us remind her, air ball. That's an old cheer.
It is an old cheer, but it still rings true when it happens.
So center Point-Urbana will have about 15 seconds here once they get into position. Try to score and take the lead. Goebel open for a moment. Down to 8. Catch in the corner. 3. No. Case the rebound. 2 seconds. 1. Good if it goes. Almost there. And for the second time this week, a North Scott player put a jump into everybody's heart. Tied at 7 after 1.
MidAmerican Energy and you, together partnering to change the energy landscape by pioneering money-saving, energy efficiency programs and building a new industry in Iowa, wind energy, all while keeping your rates low. So what's next? We'll keep delivering cost-effective energy efficiency programs while putting money back in your pocket. That's right. You decide how best to spend your savings. That's a partnership good for you, good for the environment, and good for Iowa. Another way we're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Hey, Central College has a new tuition price of just $18,600. That means the college experience that opens doors for a lifetime is more affordable than ever, and scholarships are still available. Apply today at central.edu.
Central College has a new tuition price of just $18,600. That means the college experience that opens doors for a lifetime is now more affordable than ever, and scholarships are still available. Apply today at central.edu. Tied at 7. We go quarter number 2. And it's the same intense defense early on from North Scott that we've seen them apply.
Well, they got one of the things that is one of their goals, single-digit quarters, but they only got single digits as well themselves. So defense right now has bubbled to the top, and that's what we're seeing out of both of these teams. They are making each other work, try to put the ball through the hoop.
Kilberg and Case are back here, and they go, boy, in a tough spot. You got to wait for Case to, get checked back in, both feet on that side of the court established. Otherwise, that would have been an over and back.
And they're making it very tough, not giving them any room. As soon as they set foot in the front court, they're applying a trap.
Top of the key, 3. No for Scott. Travel, Case.
That's always so tough, and all shooters do that. You get set up, you see somebody come flying at you, and you want to get around them. You shuffle the feet before you can get the ball on the floor. It's just those little happy feet that you get.
Center Point-Urbana went on a 7-1 run to start the game, and then North Scott went on a 6-0 run to tie it. We've played a minute here in the second quarter. The runner won't go. Buffelli, the rebound. And that one is intercepted and almost into our laps. There is hazard pay for sitting this close sometimes.
Yes, we've had a couple come our way.
Latham. Kilberg.
Center Point-Urbana is just sagging into the middle. Looks like they're matching up.
Boy, that one was a little more obvious than the others. Yeah. Scott shuffles left, then right.
Looks like Center Point is a kind of a matchup zone because they're allowing the cutters to cut, and then they're sagging into the middle, and they're talking out there defensively, moving each other around. If somebody lets somebody go out into the corner, go pick them up. I'm hanging here. And that's what you need to do when you have this kind of defense that is so aggressive.
Another substitution in the game brought to you by IMT Insurance. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at imtins.com. Catcher. Oh, nice. Just a little too much forward for Dufault. Corner 3, no good. Kilberg, the rebound.
Really, for both teams, that's been one of the first shots that really hasn't been contested.
Talk about that drill where you shoot into a broom to practice. The hands in the face too strong there for Scott, but the Lancers tip it out and get another chance. Buffelli turn and fouled in the act of shooting, which means it'll be 2 free throws, and I believe that's on Adriana Ketcher, and if it is, that's her second.
Or is it Goebel?
I think it's on Goebel, and that is her second.
Right.
Ketcher does not have any fouls.
Now that's going to change things up. And you could see right there, she was playing really good defense at the end. Dip those hands down. She stays straight up and down, stays vertical. She's not going to pick up that foul. With her out of the lineup, that's going to change things what they do defensively.
Buffelli hits 1 of 2, gives the Lancers their first lead of the game at 5:25 here in the second quarter. Storm and Pointers go inside to Grace Buffelli. Problem is she's wearing the wrong color jersey for him. And another.
Double dribble.
Timeout, Center Point-Urbana. 30-second variety. As Presley Case was asking the official what she did. What did she do? Because I blinked, I was looking back over here.
Yeah, and I didn't see it either. We didn't have the pressure that we'd been seeing from Center Point-Urbana, so she was bringing the ball up the floor uncontested, so we all kind of focused our attention down into the front court and not paying attention, so I did not see what she did. They're saying it was a double dribble. I did not see her put that hand on the ball for the double dribble.
But I am not wearing the stripes, and we appreciate those that do, and there's always a need for more officials. And there's clinics, good way to stay active in the game, know the rules, such as there's no such thing as over the back. Can't travel without possession. Those are just two that I hear quite often from fans.
Maybe you should put the stripes on.
No. 3, connection made, Bryn Hetzel.
That is long time coming for both of these squads. They have not been able to get a clean look. And out of the timeout, they're able to get a nice run and a good set and open up a three-point shooter.
And then Hetzel commits the foul on the other end. There's a look at Phil Klett. 1 state championship in his pocket. Looking for another. Cross-court pass for the Lancers. Kick back to Case. She's not afraid to shoot from that NBA range. She's calling for the ball again. 3 from the right side, no good. And Buffelli collects. Puts the left arm out. Another 3. Drop and good. For the Lancers, Hattie Hagedorn getting some minutes that they got to find something that's working, and right now Hagedorn gets the 2 and the 1 more.
Able to go up strong. They made Buffelli give that ball up after she got the rebound.
3-point shot is blocked by Buffelli, who's playing defense out at the 3-point line. There's something for your post players to see. Wide open, Kilberg dials direct, connection made. Now the Lancers feeling it a little bit more, Laura.
You know, and the spark of Hagedorn coming off of the bench, getting that big 3-point play, changed the momentum, gave them a little bit of a spark. They come back and hit a 3-pointer and now get a turnover. Chance to put together a little bit of a run.
North Scott's biggest lead at this point is 4. Still some pressure, which has been very effective for Center Point-Urbana.
Well, they put Riley Goebel back into the ball game to put her at the point of that full court pressure.
Hagedorn, now Case. Buffelli up over the top. Up, off the glass. Rebound tipped. Hagedorn, now Case drives, kicks. Kilberg corner. No. Rebound, Latham, and now Ketcher grabs it for Center Point. Well, she had her eyes up. She wanted to go into the far corner.
She had designs of throwing a laser beam from about 3/4 court over to Hetzel, but thought better of it.
three. Reeves. Good! Freshman Taylor Reeves.
A little smile on her face, and as she popped out to the corner, she called for it. I could hear her calling for the basketball. She was confident.
Case short. Latham steps on the out-of-bounds line trying to save it. Yeah, TJ Case says we're going to take a timeout here. 2:43 to go in the second quarter.
At Waldorf University, we are warriors. On campus and online. In the classroom and on the field. Our work today will power tomorrow, continuing a rich tradition started in 1903. And once you're one of us, you forever are. Waldorf University, we are warriors.
Oh, there was Noah. Noah from North Scott, our competitor down there. And there's Norman, the Storm and Pointer. I did not know this, Laura, and I should have. I've never heard of the name before. We heard when Center Point-Urbana played in the quarterfinal, the Center Point-Urbana Storm and Pointers, they are the only Storm and Pointers name in the United States.
Yes.
No other team has that nickname.
And do we know, is it,
what's
the origin?
Okay,
I don't know what the origin of it is.
You're getting towards my neighborhood there when we start
why I'm
talking about it.
asking.
I know, so I should answer, right? It was, and forgive me, one was the Pointers, the dog, the hunting dog,
Right.
and the other was, I don't know if it was cyclones or tornadoes or what it was, but it was more of a storm name. And so when they combined Center Point and Urbana, it became the Storm and Pointers. Goebel's miss, catch, shoot again. Then she gets a second rebound, and she traveled. A lot of feet, a lot of hands, a lot of arms blocking our view. The official right there said travel. I think TJ Case is thinking there was maybe more contact.
Yeah, I don't know if that was conversation between coach and the official, or if that was between Kilberg and the official.
Buffelli was there. Case the runner, too strong. Right arm, left arm. Both of them used to put the basketball in the hoop by Grace Buffelli.
The one good thing that Buffelli does when she gets in on the glass and pulls a rebound, she keeps it up above her head, does not bring it down, does not try to make a move, just goes right back up strong over the rim.
Three is short by Goebel, and we're going to have a foul on Center Point-Urbana's Taylor Reeves. One of the famous alums of CPU. Cal Eldred, former Major League Baseball player.
Yeah,
then pitched
Cal
the University
Eldred.
of Iowa.
Yeah.
Allie Woolridge.
Allie Woolridge.
Allie Woolridge. Her father on the bench still for Phil Klett. Allie's teammates from Drake University were here earlier in the week. That's been a bond. That's where Center Point-Urbana has worked out when they come. They go for the shoot around at Drake. Kilberg gets caught in a corner, and now she's trapped. Gets it back from Scott.
Chasing them all over the floor, not allowing them any kind of breathing room.
Latham catches, and they're going to say she traveled before she shot the ball.
Boy, and what a great setup. All she needed was one little quick power dribble to keep her momentum going towards the rim.
Or shoot it on step two.
Or shoot it on step two, right.
Minute to play, first half.
Just not allowing Ketcher any kind of daylight.
Nope. Ketcher and Goebel been real quiet in this one.
That's a good game plan, what North Scott would like to do to slow those two down, and we talked about that at the beginning of the ball game.
Catch put back up, no good for Center Point-Urbana. Final 30. Catch, release, shoot, short. And the rebound on the long rebound to Samantha Scott. Now 20 seconds to go before half.
You know, when long three-pointers like that go up off the rim, they're going to rebound long, and you've got to box out, and you've got to hold your box out.
7 seconds. Kilburg, 5. Inside, Buffelli at the horn. Why shoot the 3 when you can get 2 underneath with Grace Buffelli? And the Knights will take a 3-point advantage to the break.
They did.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
They say Buena Vista University is in the middle of a bunch of fields.
Hey guys, wait up! Game on. They say our idea of fun is morning tea, and afternoon tea,
and anytime tea.
And we hang out like bumps on a log.
They say Storm Lake, Iowa isn't in the center of the action. And when we study, we're not exactly grounded.
But you know what we say.
You gotta see it to believe it.
It's game day. Brisket smoking. The stakes are huge. Full rack, baby back. Fired up, quarter pound. Fast pass, dribble down. Slam dunk. Buzzers beat.
Victory goes to Fairway, the champion of meat.
With new Casey's Rewards, you can turn pizza into school donations. Download the Casey's app and earn points you can turn into donations to the schools you care about most. Or turn points into Casey's Cash or fuel discounts. Start earning more ways to give and get a little more good. Casey's Rewards. Points for school, points for you, points for fuel, points for good. Now at Casey's, our delicious handmade taco pizza is just $13.99. Casey's, here for good.
You bet. Put that thing up here just a little bit, Anya. There you go. We'll point it at you there. Yeah. Man,
good,
that was
good feeling.
Yeah. A little different. You don't have to spend your Saturday night with me. That's usually
I thought of that.
Everybody always feels that way. They're like, thank goodness I don't have to see you. That's what Jillick told me from Johnston earlier. Man, I am so glad I don't have to spend Friday night with you. I'm like, thanks. I love you too. Yeah, I'll tell you what. Every time I looked up, Skinner had either 3 people on her or she was scoring. They tried to collapse on her a lot. She's strong.
She is so strong, and she's so, her hands.
Oh, are we on? We're on? See, that's how it is. That's how cool it is. I'm the same way. That's Darren Coolster. Sorry, I'm supposed to pay attention. Let me give you a little secret. So for Iowa PBS, we asked the coaches who don't make it out of the semifinals to join us for the finals. Last year, you had to spend Saturday with me, and that's not any fun.
No, it's not. Not as much fun as what we're having right now.
You get to be in the state championship game. What's that like?
That's a great feeling. We should have been there a lot more times, but we're going to take it. We're going to enjoy it for a little bit, but turn around and play tomorrow night. We've got some preparation to do.
So you have Ella Skinner. Every time, I was saying, I think you probably heard it already, every time she had the basketball, she had 2 or 3 on her, or she was scoring, and sometimes she was doing both. What's Ella bring to your team?
Well, we're 21-4. She's had that for 25 games. She's getting double teamed, triple teamed, or she's scoring, and she can step out and make threes this year a lot more than what she did a year ago. She's really worked on her game. She's got great hands. She's got great footwork. She's got a lot of things in her bag to get things done for us.
24 tonight, 4 boards. She's 9 of 19 from the field, 2 of 8 from 3. You also got 18 from Stanley and 12 from Cook. So points isn't the only thing. What else is important for your offense and your team to work?
Well, typically we get a lot more transition than what we get down here. We're playing against really good teams that have really good guards, and they don't turn the ball over as much as we'd like. We'd like to get the ball in transition, and that kind of feeds into our defense. Down here, you're just going to have to grind it out, and you have to execute in the half court. And these three double-digit scorers, they've been doing it for us all year.
So Faber gets 21 for Clear Lake, and you're going to have to face, a North Polk team that also features an outstanding player and Maggie Phipps. Any comparison from what you've been able to see between the two?
Phipps is an outstanding player. I don't know. She had three in the. I don't know if she scored in the first half.
I don't think she did. I don't think she scored until about 3 minutes left in the third.
And then we went down for a little bit, came back out, and she had 13. And the first round game, she had a great game, and she's going to be a handful. But I think North Polk has a great post player as well. They got the inside, they got the outside. They don't shoot as many threes as Clear Lake, and I kind of like that.
So here's the key to stopping Phipps, from what I'm hearing you say: don't leave the floor when the game is going on.
Correct.
So Murphy's is tough inside, that inside, the outside. So do you get concerned when a player who can pop off doesn't pop off in one game, and that they might make some adjustment or counter, and you take something for granted, and they pop off in the next game?
Yeah, it happens. And we're going to watch some video, try to get a game plan, and I'm sure our game plan is really know where Phipps is, and they're going to try to take Ella away, and I think it's great that Caitlin Stanley had 18 tonight after the other day, and she looked to score a little bit more, and I think that helped us.
So you've got almost 26 hours before you play. You got a ton of time. What are you talking about? You going to sleep it all tonight?
I haven't slept much this week, so we're gonna try to get some rest, and we're gonna collect their cell phones so they do get some rest.
Nice job, Coach. Good job on that one. Congratulations on getting in the finals.
You bet. Thank you.
Love to hear it, and they will be on Friday night at 8 o'clock in the Class 3A title game against North Polk. You'll see it on Iowa PBS. Darren Klustra from Sioux City Bishop Healing. We'll be back in just a moment with statistics from the first half of this ball game between Center Point-Urbana and North Scott.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Crowded lecture halls? Not anymore. Southwestern Community College is a different place. It's where we break from traditional college to do what's best for your career. It's about teaching the way you learn, having fun along the way, and giving you the experience you need for what comes next. A job and an income in as little as 1 year. That's why you go to college in the first place. Southwestern Community College. Your career starts here. Check out SWC's career-related programs at swciowa.edu/yourcareer.
It's game day. Brisket smoking. The stakes are huge. Full rack, baby back. Fired up, quarter pound. Fast pass, dribble down. Slam dunk. Buzzers beat.
Victory goes to Fairway, the champion of me.
Believe it when I know ya, we going high. Gotta climb to the top, but we're never gonna stop. When I know ya, we going high. We're going high.
Hey, Central College has a new tuition price of just $18,600. That means the college experience that opens doors for a lifetime is more affordable than ever, and scholarships are still available. Apply today at central.edu.
Des Moines. The S's are silent. Our city is buzzing. Catch what you've been missing today.
Halftime as North Scott enjoys a 5-point lead, but Lauren Leonard, they trailed as much as 7 in the first half, and that was out one of the top scorers for Center Point-Urbana having any points, and Adriana Ketcher.
Yeah, you look at Adriana Ketcher and Riley Goebel, between the two of them, 0 for 5. They have not had an opportunity to get many looks and shots on goal, and they have done a good job of slowing them down, denying them the basketball. So others are going to have to step up. You have to believe that North Scott is going to continue to play that same kind of defense.
The Lancers shooting 20%, 4 of 20 for Center Point-Urbana, 6 of 22, 27%. So not really anything to write home about shooting from the field. Rebounds in favor of the Storm and Pointers. But I'm going to guess that, yeah, how many does Buffelli have? 9. I was going to say, of 11, it's got to be darn close to all of them for Grace Buffelli. 9 boards to go with 9 points. Hatzel has 6, and 3 for Reeves, 2 for Dufault and Goebel. Key stats got to be what? Shooting better field goals in this second half?
Well, Center Point-Urbana, 4 of 20, so only 20%. They've got to, we said they needed to take their time, get the high percentage shot. They were doing that, but they need to be a little more efficient at it and a little bit quicker in their decisions. I think defensively they're doing a good job. I mean, they're slowing down North Scott. A lot of those points have come right there from Grace Buffelli on the putbacks or going to the glass or getting beat over the top of the defense. They've been able to break the pressure and get the ball to Buffelli as the last person down the floor behind that defense. So I think a few quick adjustments. Center Point-Urbana just needs to be a little bit more efficient and quicker in decision making when they go to the glass or when they're in the offensive end.
There you got to look at Buffelli, and there she is again. They've gotten her into the mix, but she's well behind pace for points, but she's made a difference in the paint. We talked about 9 rebounds. All right, these are both state championship winning coaches. So much is said about what's said at halftime. It's not so much the motivation, it's the adjustments. What do you think either coach is looking to adjust right now?
Well, I think they're going to, Center Point-Urbana needs to try to find a way to get more touches for Adriana Ketcher. Yep. They need to get her the basketball, let her do a few more things rather than being taken out of the motion of the offense. They really completely took her out. She only got 2 shots and didn't touch the ball very much. And then I think what North Scott needs to do is continue to attack. They're going to shoot some 3-pointers. Those will fall for them, but they have to be smart. They can't force shots.
Well, North Scott forced a pass, and then Center Point-Urbana forced a pass. And is that a foul? It is.
On Goebel.
Goebel right there in front of the bench on the push against Case, and now Riley Goebel just picked up foul number 3.
And it was just a little bit of a telegraphed pass and not much snap to it. It was slow getting over there, and that's why they were able to jump into the passing lane and get the steal.
All right, well, Kilberg goes and kind of breaks what I was about to say. Kilberg's been having to pick up a little bit more of the ball handling responsibility as Center Point-Urbana has been trying to keep the ball out of Case's hands, or at least frustrating her there. And Kilberg could be a kind of a key here, Laura.
And they're not even paying attention to her. She's wide open here on the far corner.
I think Presley knew she was there. She was giving her the old, I'm not looking at you. I really see you. I really don't know you're there. I do know you're there. I do. Oh, nice drive. Case left 3. Good! Presley Case, her first 3 of the game.
Those were being forced in the first half by Case. This time caught it in rhythm and knocked it home.
North Scott's biggest lead, 8. A minute gone by here in the third quarter. And Kriegel is going to be called for the offensive foul. Taking the charge would be Samantha Scott.
Scott just jumping over into the driving lane maybe gave a little bit of an acting job, but the official bought it. It's all right. You know what? It doesn't matter. If you can sell it to the official, then you've done your job.
And Case clears space and doesn't hit the three. Catcher had her North Scott defender, Scott, on her left arm and then grabbed it with her right. Great rebound there. Let's see what the Pointers can do. The drive to the rack and score! Peyton Kriegel for 2.
Kriegel's a little upset about the fact that she got called for that charge, and so she's going to take it upon herself to try to change some things.
Too long of a pass for Buffelli, and stealing it is Dufault. Now Hansel with the basketball. Kick. And that'll be a foul on Kilbert.
Actually, I think that's going to be on Case.
Case gets it. That's her second.
Good little matchup up top with Case and Kriegel.
Dufault thought about it. Cutting Goebel. Goes to work left side, and she'll get a chance for the three-point play. Riley Goebel.
Goebel just hangs in the air, and then with the left hand, scoops it up off the glass. Cut right into the middle, and then the drop step around the defense to the glass.
Well, if Ketcher's not going to be able to hit shots, she can at least distribute the basketball, which she did right there.
And that's what good players will do. If they're being taken out of the ball game in one aspect or another, then they try to contribute in different ways, and that's what Ketcher's doing. She's becoming a passer now in this ball game.
Latham for 2.
Beat the pressure, and they're going to get easy, high percentage shots.
And that might speed up the game a little bit, and all of a sudden we'll slow it down. Dufault steps in inside the 3. Buffelli grabs the loose ball. Last year, Center Point-Urbana really ran teams ragged. That was kind of their what they were known for. This year, a little different, at least in this game and what we've seen earlier in this tournament. A little more deliberate when called upon.
Well, I think, they're playing the defense and they're getting the turnovers, but they aren't able to get those runouts that we saw from a year ago, and they are more of a setup half-court type of team.
Latham ties it up for a jump ball. Alternating possession arrow puts it in favor of Center Point-Urbana. We have another IMT insurance substitution. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at imtins.com. North Scott 23, Center Point-Urbana 18. Dufault, Goebel. The give and go. Gets behind Buffelli, who blocks it. Is it really? Oh, nice steal. Goebel, and she'll get 2 free throws. Latham.
How about Taylor Reeves sneaking in there? Just laying low and then shooting the passing lane to get the steal.
That won't show up in the scorebook, but when they watch this tape, they'll know that was an important play. Goebel for the point. Let's look at this one. Yeah. Yep, Reeves. Step right in front of Case. You got to come to the basketball.
You got to step to the ball, and you could see Case backtracking, backpedaling, and Reeves just snuck right in.
Goebel goes XX. Lead down to 3. Latham, gets behind Case. Buffelli was there, and it was tipped away by Dufault. So I've noticed that Buffelli is a lot farther deep, and these passes are going over the top. That's almost like a sucker pass that Center Point-Urbana is trying to just, hey, get that pass. There's room there. and then they close on it just like that.
They do, but they've also been able to connect on several of those as well to get the ball to Buffelli.
Kilberg, before the shot, is fouled on the floor. I asked both Case and Buffelli, more Buffelli this one, after the quarterfinal game. How do you know when Presley's going to go to you? It's just, we have looks, we have signals. You know, they've played enough ball with each other. They know when there is that gap, either with the left hand or the right hand.
Just like that.
Grace muscles it in.
It's the drive, knowing where she's going to be positioned, and you can give that no-look pass in traffic and get it to a teammate.
Interior, Goebel on the trail, banks it home.
Nice little dish off by Neighbor as Goebel is kind of cutting down the middle of the lane, gets it, banks it home.
Back to a 3-point lead. Kilberg 3, no. Defoe rips it down. Catcher. Goebel, great connection made, and it's within 1.
Soon as Catcher got it, she looked up the floor, saw what her options were, gave a little glance to Goebel, and Goebel went back door. What a pass, what a feed.
That gets the fans in black and yellow a little excited. Let's see if the Lancers can silence the crowd. Case kicks. Kilberg will drive. Put it up, short, tipped, into the arms of Lauren Defoe. Let's see if that frees up any motion for Goebel or Catcher. Missing the open look was Neighbor.
Took her a little time to decide what she was going to do with the ball, but it was the right move. Took her right at the defense. Just got an unlucky break on the rims.
Boy, they're banging with Buffelli up top. The give and go, hard step drop, defensive foul. That probably could have been called a hold up at the top of the lane. That exchange had kind of been going down that entire series there.
Defoe having her work cut out for her the entire game. She is the last person, the back person on this press of Center Point-Urbana, and so she has had to match up multiple times with Buffelli.
Buffelli now 14 points. Defoe thought about it. Oh, nice give and go. Goebel right off of Buffelli. Catcher there. One more pass and a travel. Hadsel. We've seen a lot of quick shuffling of the feet.
Great defensive rotation by Buffelli to come over and slow down Goebel and change that shot. Catcher pulled that rebound, was a little off balance, thought she maybe could have gone right back up with it.
Case with it. Lancers get it across the timeline and then pull up in a tough spot. Hadador and shot. No. Rebound. Lancers falling somehow. Scott gets it back to Case. Into the corner, left alone. Hagedorn, 3, no good. Defoe rips it away. Man, she's done a lot of great things.
She's had a really good third quarter. She's been a difference maker on the glass.
Catcher's off the mark. Rebound. I'll tell you what, that is just lack of hustle there by North Scott.
And that's pure hustle by Hadsel for Center Point.
Under a minute. Goebel drives, stops, short, gets her own board, short. Tipped out, I think it's gonna be off, it's gonna be off Goebel.
Twice, Buffelli made Goebel change her shot. Altered her shot, and it came off the rim both times.
We have a little conference going around on the far table. This is game 1 of the Class 4A semifinals tonight. One more game here on Thursday. And the other game will be Glenwood and Lewis Central. The winner will play in the championship at 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon. Game you can see on Iowa PBS. And if we were on the television, we would be able to hear this exchange. I think we're having a... Are we having a foul issue of who?
That is her second.
I think we're having a redistribution of fouls. Sometimes they'll come over and I didn't put a good in word with the officials to get them to update us on what happened. 30 seconds. Lancers with the basketball. That's going to be off North Scott. Going to go back to center Point-Urbana. Now wait a minute. For the record, Center Point-Urbana fans sitting behind us, you can hear they're not pleased. It's safe to assume the call didn't go their way. 22.3 in the third, cross court. 3 ball, off the mark, tipped around. Buffelli, 15 seconds. Back to Shaning for 3, no good. Goebel, 7 seconds. 5, Goebel, she's going to get a clean look. Catcher for 3 at the horn.
What a big shot, and a shot in the arm for Center Point-Urbana heading in to this huge fourth quarter.
Ho hum, just another 1-point game as we go to the fourth quarter.
MidAmerican Energy and you, together partnering to change the energy landscape by pioneering money-saving, energy efficiency programs and building a new industry in Iowa, wind energy, all while keeping your rates low. So what's next? We'll keep delivering cost-effective energy efficiency programs while putting money back in your pocket. That's right, you decide how best to spend your savings. That's a partnership good for you, good for the environment, and good for Iowa. Another way we're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
With new Casey's Rewards, you can turn pizza into school donations. Download the Casey's app and earn points you can turn into donations to the schools you care about most. Or turn points into Casey's Cash or fuel discounts. Start earning more ways to give and get a little more good. Casey's Rewards. Points for school, points for you, points for fuel, points for good. Now at Casey's, our delicious handmade taco pizza is just $13.99. Casey's, here for good.
Hey, Central College has a new tuition price of just $18,600. That means the college experience that opens doors for a lifetime is more affordable than ever, and scholarships are still available. Apply today at central.edu.
Central College has a new tuition price of just $18,600. That means the college experience that opens the doors for a lifetime is now more affordable than ever. The scholarships are still available. Apply today at central.edu. Hey, Laura Leonard, guess what? Sports are fun.
Sports are fun. And this girls' state basketball tournament is a lot of fun.
Kilberg with it. Buffelli, ooh, took her eye off of it. Case saves the day on that throwback.
Buffelli looking out and telling Case, all right, slow it down, let's get reset, run the offense.
Adriana Ketcher's 3 at the buzzer to end the third quarter has given a whole new set of life to a lot of people wearing black and yellow. Case from the NBA, dial it in, 3 points, Presley Case. Now with 8.
Well, that matches the three-pointer at the end of the quarter. And Presley Case, that was deep because that was beyond the red arc, as you had mentioned, is an NBA 3.
Dufault comes away with the loose ball. All loose. I think Kilberg created it, and Buffelli will get credit.
Yeah, just stuck a hand in there, had so lost it on the way up.
Kilberg. Now Buffelli way out from the basket. Handoff Case. Bodies flying. Case nearly stepping on the half-court line. Inside Buffelli, catch release, score!
And they rotated around, and Kriegel was right there, but she got out of the way of Buffelli, and Center Point going to take a 30-second timeout to talk about it. They don't want this to get any further away from them.
Blink and 6. That ties. No, that's the second biggest lead. When Case hit her last 3 was the last time North Scott led by this much, when it was 8. Lancers trailed by 7 early on when it was 7-1 to start the game. Otherwise, it's been no bigger margin than 8.
Well, and you get that last bucket at the end of the third quarter. Have had a couple opportunities, have not been able to score in those opportunities. And Center Point-Urbana is only shooting 27% from the floor. So this defense of North Scott really caused problems for Center Point-Urbana. And Center Point-Urbana, 3 of those 9 shots that they've made are from three-point range.
Gonna need a couple more here in the final 6-11. Dufault, who had a great third quarter.
Got to have a little more movement. Everybody's standing around on the perimeter, and that's twice when they have driven in. Somebody on the top of that 2-3 zone has stuck a hand in there and knocked the dribble away.
Kind of see a little bit of frustration there on Ketcher's body language. I hear Coach Case. Okay, I can't really hear him. It's loud. He says high-low, high-low.
They're just going to continue to run some motion, keep Buffelli down low, replace one another on the court.
3 launched and off the mark by Scott. Dufault 1-on-4 scores, makes it look easy.
Actually, that was Riley Goebel,
Goebel.
with the good hands, taking the ball down the floor to the left side.
First 2 points of the quarter for Center Point-Urbana. Case. Latham the pick. Case gets around the edge, clears it up, and scores. Beat Ketcher.
And Ketcher flashed out and then had to trail Case as she got the corner turned. And nobody rotated over to help Ketcher out.
4.5 to play. Dufault inside. Turn around, that's going to be free throws as Claire Neighbor is fouled in the act of shooting.
Claire Neighbor posting up, and they get her the ball, makes the nice power move, and challenges Buffelli. Buffelli went straight up and down at the last minute, dipped those hands to try to get the block.
Shooting woes continue for Center Point-Urbana, this time from the free throw line. I shouldn't say continues, it's up there at 86%, but it just feels like a lot of shots not falling when you're shooting 29% from the field, 25 from 3 as Neighbor goes 1 of 2.
Now they're really extending it. And Dufault is back here as the last defender.
And they just go deep pass to Buffelli, who'll go one-on-one with Dufault all day long. The left hand high off the glass. Score 18 now for Grace.
That all it takes, 2 passes down the floor, and you've got one-on-one with Buffelli and Dufault, and Buffelli has a couple inches on Dufault.
And were there any dribbles even? Was there one?
Maybe one.
To go the length of the court. It can be done. Goebel high. Reeves. Pass. Scott's awake. She might have had the steal. She was awake. She just was looking the wrong way.
Yeah.
Now North Scott's defense is not allowing any good looks for Center Point Urbana.
And Center Point Urbana, and they're going to get, I think, Latham with the hands in the back as catcher was making the move to receive the basketball, but it's not a fluid motion. They need to get, they're allowing North Scott's defense to get set up every time the ball moves. You got to have a little bit of ball fake, get the defense to shift one way or the other, and then find the openings to cut.
North Scott leads by 7.
At Waldorf University, we are warriors. On campus and online. In the classroom and on the field. Our work today will power tomorrow, continuing a rich tradition started in 1903. And once you're one of us, you forever are. Waldorf University, we are warriors.
3:27, there's still time. There's still time for all sorts of things to happen. Like me asking you this question, Laura. Adriana Ketcher, limited in points. Hits that 3 right at the buzzer. So if you're Coach Case, you're going, oh goodness, she's due, right? If you're Coach Klett, you're hoping she's due, right?
Right. Yeah, and I think that they've not been able to get her the ball, though, again. They got her open in the open floor just because the time was running out. Everybody's scrambling to try to get into position. She hits a buzzer beater. She has not had a clean touch since.
They set the screen out of the timeout for the 3 from Kriegel, and North Scott comes up with the rebound. Latham thought about Buffelli in transition, but went back to Case instead. 10 count on the Lancers.
Just a little mental mistake.
It counts. The clock starts as soon as you take possession. And remember, there was a little bit of back and forth there, about 3-4 seconds, and then the 6 seconds up the clock. That's one of those unforced errors that could loom as we wind down the final 3 minutes.
If they score on this possession, you definitely know that it's something that could make a difference in this ball game.
Oh, that was a good look by Hadsel. Defoe missed. I'd shoot like that too if I had Grace Buffelli defending me.
We all would. We all would. But, you know, Ketcher gets that ball right in the middle. 3 defenders around her, and they're making her become a passer. They're not allowing her to be a scorer in this ball game.
So how do you do that? I mean, that's the part of the thing I don't, you know, you hear coaches say stuff like that. We just can't let her have the ball. You force somebody else to have the ball. You bait him into taking that. How do you do that?
She didn't challenge the defense, and in my mind, I'm looking at her. I'm going, just take it to the rim. Even though you have 3 defenders, you might draw a foul, but instead she was happy to pass the ball off. We've seen her do that a couple of times here today, where she hasn't even really looked at the rim to try to become that scorer. And so, I think, as the defense has worn on her and she's not been able to get the ball in her hands and do the things that she normally does, she now has become that player that thinks, okay, I'm going to be the passer and not necessarily the scorer, and has changed her whole mindset.
Speaking of getting into my mindset, I completely blew through the tease of we've got to have the Casey's player of the game. So I'm going to tease here in the next few seconds. We'll come up with the Casey's player of the game. This one's been really good. North Scott leads by 7. Buffelli has been a force inside for North Scott. There's been some other big shots. Buffelli's had some good defense.
And they're going to take the air out of it now. They've got that 7-point lead, and they have the opportunity to run this offense where they don't have to score, and they're going to keep kicking it back out.
And I can tell that the coaching staff calling for a foul, but not everybody can see it. Another almost 30 seconds have gone off the clock, and Adriana Ketcher comes out to foul Samantha Scott. So Laura, let's take this break in the action to present today's Casey's Player of the Game.
Well, I think we have to go with Grace Buffelli would be the one that I would think has been a difference maker in this ball game.
She's got 17 points and at least 12 rebounds at last check. Casey's General Stores is the proud sponsor of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union and today's Player of the Game. Casey's is at the heart of many Iowa communities, cheering on our local teams and fans and making sure that there's fresh pizza ready, win or lose. Sign up for a new Casey's Rewards, the rewards program that gives back by letting you redeem points for Casey's cash, fuel discounts, or donations to local schools. Free throws hit by Scott extends the lead to 9, biggest of the game for the Lancers. Getting to be crunch time for Center Point-Urbana. Timeout with 1:19 to play here in this Class 4A semifinal from Wells Fargo Arena.
I'm an Iowa business owner. My dad gave me some advice 47 years ago when I left home. He says, when you move to a new town, you need to find 3 people. You need to find a good mechanic because you need your car working so that you can get to work. You need to find a doctor so that you can stay healthy. But most importantly, you need to find a good banker because it gets tough out there. We would not be here today if it wasn't for our bank. I love my Iowa bank.
More Iowans choose to bank with an Iowa bank. Get to know a real Iowa banker and discover the genuine difference of Iowa banks.
The state tournament kind of throws off your schedule a little bit. These coaches are playing games at 10 o'clock in the morning, up at 8 o'clock, sometimes at 3 in the afternoon. It's kind of hard for all of these things. You know, Darren Koolstra, head coach of Bishop Heelan, I go, what are you talking about? What are you complaining about? You've only got 26 hours before the biggest game of your coaching career.
Yeah,
I mean, all the time.
It's a quick turnaround.
It is.
For especially if the teams that play today have to turn right around and play tomorrow. And the intensity of these semifinal games sometimes wears the winner out when they get to that championship game. If they've left it all on the floor in the semifinals, they may not have enough gas left in the tank in that championship game.
Stormin' Pointers, three-pointer, hits the side of the backboard. Neighbors short. And you guessed it, Grace Buffelli. Let me give you a quick, she's up to 13 now, 14 rebounds. Case trapped right here in front of us, dribbles out of it.
Last year she was the all-tournament captain, the all-tournament team captain, and certainly putting the work together in these first 2 games of the tournament to be on that course again for that honor.
52 seconds stand between North Scott and a berth in Saturday afternoon's Class 4A state championship. Kilberg, X.
Well, they certainly have the experience of being here once before and know what it takes down the stretch, and they certainly, here in this 4th quarter, have done all the things that a championship team needs to do to go for their 2nd title.
Stormin' Pointers, just not a lot of good looks at the basket today. Catcher, top of the key. Hard off, no good. Latham the rebound, Case has it now. And now North Scott, if they can play keep away, they're so far succeeding at it as we're under 30 seconds. Now Kilberg, here comes someone for the foul. And tasked with it is Peyton Kriegel, the senior. Stormin' Pointers were on the upper edge of Class 3A last year. A couple of student changes here and there, and you end up in Class 4A, and you got to go against the North Scott Lancers, who play a really hard conference schedule for a 4A school. They mostly play 5A teams out of the Mississippi Athletic Conference.
And there are several teams in the state that do those kinds of things, that play up a class just because of the location of where they are in the state, and it gives them good opportunity, good experience, and when it comes tournament time, it helps them, I think, down the road.
Well, Davenport Assumption plays in 3A, and they were here out of that conference. Haven't seen Pleasant Valley here, but they've had some good teams as of late. Just kind of keep running into the same repeat of the regional final. And the CIML in Central Iowa, the big schools, they now have switched where they're only supposed to really play everybody in their conference. You have to ask an opponent to not play, so that's how you get the Waukee City High game or Dowling Catholic City High. They have to ask an opponent not to play, and some opponents are fine. You know what? We don't want to have 100 points scored on us. Others are like, we want that challenge too because we're trying to get better. And it's a dancing act. And let's face it, some of those relationships are built here because Center Point-Urbana, North Scott, that'd be a fun game regular season if they would get together on some Saturday afternoon.
And you never know, it might happen. They might figure out, boy, this was a great game. And yes, there'll be different teams next year because of graduation, but certainly these programs have the foundation and the tradition that we're going to probably see them back here at the Wells Fargo again next year.
A lot of youth for Center Point-Urbana, but it's going to be the veteran team of North Scott. The Lancers are back in the Class 4A state title game with an 8-point victory here on Thursday evening.
A lot of emotions running high over on the Center Point-Urbana side. Adriana Ketcher, senior, Brent Hadsel, senior, Peyton Kriegel, senior, Lauren Defoe, senior. All of them playing their last game for Center Point-Urbana.
So the Lancers have been at the state tournament 3 out of the last 4 years. They won it in 17, they won it at 19, and they're a game away from winning it in 20. Center Point-Urbana, their 2 titles. They'll watch at home this year.
Each participating player will receive a commemorative basketball provided by the Iowa Farm Bureau, proud title sponsor of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. Presenting awards from the IGHSAU are Gary Ross and Gene Berger. Congratulations to head coach Philip Klett and the Storm and Pointers from Center Point-Urbana on an outstanding basketball season. And now, Presley Case will advance her team to the next round on the official bracket at center court. Hey, North Scott fans, your team advances to the championship and will play the winner of Glenwood and Lewis Central on Saturday, March 7th at 3 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union, we thank you for your support and attendance. Our next game will begin shortly.
Did you catch the little mindset that Presley Case just did there? She took the North Scott and put it on the championship champion line.
I saw that.
You don't think they're focused on trying to win a state title?
I saw that, and then she quickly picked it up and put it in the right bracket. But, you know, this team's experienced. They know what it takes. They've been there before. They're trying to go back-to-back, and they had a tough test today against Center Point-Urbana, but in that second half, they had held Center Point-Urbana to 19 points. They had 3 single-digit quarters that they allowed for Center Point-Urbana. 7 in the first, 6 in the second, 5 in the fourth quarter when the Storm and Pointers were trying to make a comeback.
And they also held them anytime they got a shot. It just wasn't there. 11 of 43 from the field for 26%. The Lancers 15 of 39 at 39%. So both well below their average, so good defense too. I mean, let's face it, if you're Center Point and you would have told Phil Klett you're only going to give up 40, he'd said, all right, how much did we win by?
Yeah, and that's, I mean, both of these teams do a really good job of defending. That's kind of what they do. That's what they hang their hat on. And, oh, yeah, they can score some points, both of these teams, but this was 2 teams going at each other defensively, tooth and nail, and it was going to be a grind to the end.
And it was really no big advantage more than 10 points. That was the biggest lead. Most of the time it kind of hung around 8 for a little while towards the fourth quarter. Otherwise, we went back and forth 5-3 for quite a few trips up and down the court. Great end to a career. Adriana Ketcher there for Center Point-Urbana. She'll continue her career. You'll see her in the Valley quite often. She tried running, but she just couldn't get any good looks no matter how much she ran around tonight. Credit the defense. Again, both of these teams keeping it low, keeping it close, keeping it interesting.
Yeah, and that's those are the game plans that you have to have your players pay full attention to what you want them to do. They wanted to make Adriana Ketcher not be a scorer. They wanted to make her a passer, not allow her to do any damage in the scoring column, and they did exactly that. And they were going to try to make others beat them, and they really were able to shut them down as well. So North Scott doing a great job with their defensive game plan. Got one more to plan for tomorrow or on Saturday.
Grace Buffelli well under her average. She only had 17. Her average is 29, but she finished with 14 rebounds, so a very good double-double performance for the future Panther from the University of Northern Iowa.
Yeah, and she did most of her damage because she was the last person on offense back one-on-one with one defender for Center Point-Urbana, and she's going to win that matchup every time because she's going to have inches on whoever's back defending her. It's the last line of defense against the last line of offense, and the offense won out most of the time.
All right, that'll do it for this Class 4A semifinal that started at 5 o'clock and ended here about 6:20 on Thursday night. The winner of this game, which is North Scott, will play Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock on Iowa PBS. Laura Leonard and BJ Shaven will have that call. I will see you, Laura, Friday night at 5:30 on Iowa PBS for our pregame show, which begins then at 5:30. Then you'll have a fun little game in Class 5A. And then we'll see you again on Saturday for 3 championship games as well.
Looking forward to it. It seems to get here so quickly. The tournament gets here, and you think, oh, this is going to be a long week, and all of a sudden, we're at Friday, and we're at Championship Friday and Championship Saturday.
All right, so thank you so very much for watching this live stream here from the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. For those of us on camera, to the ones behind, thank you so very much for watching. So long from Wells Fargo Arena, where, again, North Scott into the 4A title game with a win tonight.